Alrighty, let's see here. Next game we're going to talk about is Michigan Notre Dame. Oh man, Notre Dame's quarterback played really well for most of the game. Kind of second half he struggled a little bit, but that first half, especially his first two drives, he was dominating and played really great. The receivers played really well. The size of Notre Dame's receivers was a big match for Michigan's corners, and they really struggled with that. Oh, excuse me, man, really burpy tonight. See here, he played a lot better than I figured he would. Michigan's defense was struggling those first couple of drives, but especially in the second half, they played really well and they kept Michigan in this game. Michigan defense really came to play. They really impressed me. They really dominated the offensive line for Michigan. I mean. They played a lot better than I figured they would, and Notre Dame's a lot better than I figured they would be. So I was disappointed in Michigan, especially the offensive line. Shane Patterson and the other quarterback was running for their life a whole lot of the game. See here, quarterback for Michigan, Shane Patterson, he was kind of running around too much, panicking in the pocket. Looking like he never really played a major game before, which is weird because he was in the SEC. So I don't know what was going on with that. I guess he had first game jitters with a new team. You just got to be played better. They got to call better offensive plays. They might need to change their offense because the type of offense Jim Harbaugh wants to run is not suitable with the team he has currently. He wants to run a smash mouth, run down your throat type of offense, and he doesn't have that team around him right now. Their offensive line is not great, and Shane Patterson's strength is moving around the pocket and doing more read option spread types, and he wants to do pound the ball, Andy Luck type offense when he had
formation type stuff.
When he had Stanford, when he was at Stanford, and that's just not working with the team you have. I mean, that could work if you have a really great offensive line like Wisconsin. But if your offensive line is not really that good, then it's not going to be a really great game plan for your team. And I think that's been one of the big issues with Michigan's offense the last couple of years is they don't have enough talent at the offensive line position and a quarterback until this year to run this type of offense that Jim Harbaugh wants to run. Defense at times, Michigan struggled. But they played well for the most part. Sean Gary was kind of quiet, which was weird. But the other guy with orange hair, I don't know his name on top of my head, he played really well. Bush played well. Number 14 got ejected, which I don't think he should have. That really hurt Michigan's defense. But for the most part, Notre Dame was a better team. I think Michigan can have a better season than most people think. Most people think it's just the end of the world, which I don't really think so.
Just one game.
Yeah.
Just one game. I will start with Notre Dame. Upside, I think, was their defense. I was very, very impressed with their defense. They were getting pressure when they needed to get pressure. They were stopping them on third down when they needed to. They were very impressive. Making Patterson run around with his head cut off like a chicken. Made a big defensive play at the end just to win the game. They sacked him and he fumbled. That was huge. Like I said, that won them the game pretty much. I think their downside though, they have no running game. They gotta have a running game. Their leading rusher was the quarterback, Wimbush. He had 19 carries for 59 yards. Like, you can't have that. You gotta have a running game. You can't have your quarterback throwing and running the ball. Eventually, he'll end up getting hurt playing like that. So I think that was the downside for them is they didn't really have a running game in this game. Honestly, I think that's what kept them in this game. I think if they had the running game going along with their passing game, they probably would have dominated this game, to be honest. And for Michigan, I think their upside was their defense as well. There was times that they were making big stops, getting big sacks. But also, I guess you could put them in both categories because there's also a downside to that defense too. They made a lot of mistakes. Like, they'll make a great play, and then the next play they'll give up a big yardage and they'll get a first down. And you're like, okay, you just sacked the guy, made your defense look great, and then the next play you literally can't tackle nobody, and you look like you're a D2 school.
Yeah.
For another upside for Michigan, I think was their running game. Hadjadon, that's a weird name. However you say the running back's name, he played pretty well. He had 72 yards and a big touchdown that made the game close again to even give them a chance to win it. So I think their running game is pretty good. I think has a big point though. Harbaugh wants to play this smash mouth, run the ball.
Hadjadon, I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, he wants to play smash mouth, run the ball, but he really doesn't have the offense for that.
Yeah.
And like he said, the offensive line at times looked garbage. So yeah, he got some going back to the drawing board things to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, big surprise. I did not expect Notre Dame to come out and look this good. So good job for Notre Dame.
People really saying Jim Harbaugh is overrated. I disagree. I think he is a little bit overrated. But people like a person I don't really like a whole lot. He said that he's the most overrated coach in college football history, which I think is ridiculous. I think that's a Skip Bayless level hot take, which Skip Bayless didn't say that, but that's a Skip Bayless hot take, and I think that was ridiculous to say. But speaking of that guy, Clay Travis is a guy I don't really particularly like a whole lot, but he roots for Tennessee, and that's going to be the game we talk about before we go to break. And they got the crap beat out of them. They lost 14 to the West Virginia Mountaineers. I figured that the West Virginia was going to win this game. I didn't think it was going to be this much of a blowout, but they came to play West Virginia, and they're going to be a pretty good team, I think. Their defense played really well, and Will Greer played amazing for 5 touchdowns, 420 yards, 420 yards. Heisman he's definitely a Heisman contender. I don't think he's going to win the Heisman. I think he's a little overrated, but I think he is a good quarterback. Really, they handle business. Tennessee has a long way to go.
Yeah. I didn't watch a whole lot of this game.
I didn't really either. That's why I don't have much to say about it.
Yeah, but I did watch some drives, and man, I watched drives on both sides of the ball. And when I did watch West Virginia, their quarterback was playing amazing. He had 430 yards and 5 touchdowns. Like, he played amazing. I think one of their biggest players that they got outside of their quarterback was their wide receiver, Seals. He played really well as well. He had 7 catches, 140 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He played really well. On the other side of the ball, when I watched Tennessee play offense, their wide receivers was dropping a lot of passes at times when they could have been easy catches. And their quarterback didn't look too well. He looked shaky. A lot of times he looked shaky a lot. So, and which is at times you can say understandable. I'm not making an excuse for the guy, but at the same time it's understandable. It is week 1, you know. They're big nerves, and they were at home, so big nerves. But still, you shouldn't look that jittery in the pocket. That ain't good. But yeah, man, big victory for West Virginia. I actually don't have them doing that well this season, but I don't know, man. I might be wrong. He has them actually doing pretty well. So yeah, man, they could easily be a very scary team.
Alrighty, that's all we're gonna say about that game, and we're gonna go to break right quick, and we'll be right back.